All right, Gaming Morning Show continues. It is Thursday, February 11th, 2021. Thanks for being with us on this beautiful day. And we are excited to bring in But Why Tho's Collier, Jennings. You can find CJ at CJ Writes Things on Twitter, the host of the Into the Spider-Cast podcast, part of the many great podcasts that But Why Tho does, including their flagship podcast, which has new episodes out on Wednesdays. The newest episode available now. Go to butwhythopodcast.com. CJ, thanks for taking time to join us on Gaming Morning Show. We are looking forward to talking to you today. And let's start kind of with this podcast, Into the Spider-Cast. It is something that's available with new episodes. We recently tweeted that out in the promo for this. What is Into the Spider-Cast? What can you tell us about it?
Oh, 2019, my co-host Swara approached me with the idea of a podcast centered around Spider-Man, specifically all different forms of Spider-Man. Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Venom, Spider-Gwen, etc. And we would discuss different forms of comics, TV, and movies and video games centered around Spider-Man. And when we bring in hosts, we talk about their connection to Spider-Man. Since, Spider-Man is a character that applies to everybody, whether you're young or old, male or female, different race, different sexualities, etc. So we wanted to be a really inclusive podcast and talk about this character we love so much. And yeah, we started around the beginning of 2020, and yeah, we've been going ever since.
Nice. And one of your fellow But Why Tho writers, Rashad Johnson, recently posted his list of favorite Black heroes. Who are some of your favorite Black heroes in pop culture?
Some of my favorite Black heroes are Spawn. That was one of the first Black heroes I ever encountered. I also love Static from Milestone/DC. That's the character I relate the most to in terms of personality. And I just loved his TV show growing up, and I learned he was comics, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I also really love the Black Panther. Back around when the Secret Invasion crossover was going during Marvel, I read the Black Panther miniseries, and I was like, wow, this guy is awesome. And I started to read more of his comics. And also, I really love War Machine. I think War Machine is really cool. And Storm has always been one of my favorite X-Men, and I think she's one of the X-Men's best characters and leaders. And finally, I would have to round it off with a recent creation, Duke Thomas, aka the Signal, because I love when he first appeared, and I love that he's not, different from all the Robins and Batgirls, and that he's his own hero, and yet he's more of a partner to Bruce Wayne than a sidekick. So those are my 5 heroes that stand out. And of course, always Miles Morales, because I am a Spider-Man guy and Black hero.
Awesome. Very cool. So, CJ, you have quite a bit of variety with your writing on the comic book resource, and it ranges from toys to cartoons to comics. What is the one thing that you enjoy writing about the most, that when you think about or when you sit down to start writing, what just makes you tingle, aside from Spider-Man, because obviously that's a big one? What else is out there that just gets you really excited and really pumped to write?
I love anything relating to Power Rangers or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those are 2 franchises I grew up with and loved in my youth, and they're still going to this day. So any news I get about those, whether it be cartoons or comics, I get really hyped. Also, anime. I love anime. I am a huge anime guy, and any anime, whether it be new stuff or old stuff, I love talking about. And Star Trek and Star Wars. I love those 2 franchises as well. My dad introduced me to Star Trek when I was a little kid, and Star Trek has always been a part of my life with the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. So it's a variety of topics,
Awesome.
But anything having to do with Power Rangers or tokusatsu, including Ultraman, and anime and Star Wars, Star Trek, or other sci-fi. So yeah, sci-fi, anime, and tokusatsu.
Very cool. Very
are
cool.
my big topics that make me happy.
All right.
So that newest Mighty Morphin run, the best, right?
Oh, oh, it's good. It's
It's
good.
so good.
I read and reviewed the latest issue, and I was like, ooh, yeah, this is my jam.
Collier Jennings, thanks so much for taking time to join us on Gaming Morning Show Into the Spider-Cast. You can find it on Twitter at such. Into Spider-Cast is the handle there. This latest episode outlining Silk, give us information on episode 25.
Okay, Swara and I had previously discussed with our guest Mallory the first Silk series that eventually led into the 2015 Secret Wars, and we decided to return for a second volume because when we read the first one, Cindy Moon had grown on us as a character. We kind of really loved how she was dealing with, being locked in a bunker for about 10 years and the mental effects that would obviously have, and how that runs parallel to what a lot of us are currently feeling, with the pandemic, more or less having us all in quarantine and separated from our friends and family on some occasions, and how we are trying to hang in there despite, everything that's going on in the world. So we relate to the character for that reason, and again, we love the fact that the writer Robbie Thompson really gets to flesh out her character, and he did a really great job of it. And yeah, we talked about how the character has grown on us, and it was obvious that we wanted to continue with their further adventures, especially since she's going to have a mini series, I believe, coming out this March, and television show is in development at Amazon. So she's probably going to have the same jump into popular culture soon that Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen did. So we were like, yeah, we want to talk about this because we love this character, and she's probably going to get a bigger push soon. So yeah, that's why we decided to do that for this episode.
And we link that through into our chat. We'll also share it on Twitter if you haven't found us already at Watch GMS. You can find CJ Writes Things on Twitter. Collier Jennings, thanks so much for joining us this morning on Gaming Morning Show.